Hello everyone, Gerard Scarpesi here, co-founder of the Hairbrain community. I'm so excited with our guest today. We've got Mr. Tom Priano, legendary men's groomer. We're going to get to talk about all the incredible things he's done in his 30-plus year career. I think maybe it's even 40, Tom. Tom is one of the co-founders. There's a collective of hairdressers who've co-founded Armco. Armco is a beauty brand that's been really setting the professional beauty industry on fire the past couple of years by bringing a craft focus back to professional products. Tom is one of the men behind that, as well as Garen and Howard McLaren. Imagine this collective, what an incredible team of influential hairdressers that are designing this incredible product. So enough about that. We'll talk more about the brand and all the exciting things that are happening with Armco. But you can see that Tom's already started on Ryan here. Say hi, Ryan.
Hi.
And what do you have in store for us today with Ryan's haircut, Tom?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you that this is the most technical I get with the parting. I do a horseshoe parting on the top, and I usually, for this type of haircut that I'm going to do, because I'm going to do a basic clipper cut on Ryan, and I'll usually start with one guard on it. This way, we're not going too short, but he'll be very well groomed.
So let's talk about that. Working with clippers today, I mean, a lot of hairdressers maybe are still a little bit afraid to pick up the clippers. I know it's changing now, but you know, you're someone who's been working with men's hair for years, and any tips on how people can get more comfortable with using a clipper?
Yeah, I am a hairdresser. I started doing hair back in the mid-70s. So I was doing shampoos, cuts, and sets on women. And I didn't start in doing men's hair until mid-80s, I think it was. And when I first started doing that, it wasn't a big business in the salons because most guys didn't go to beauty salons to get their hair cut. But at that time, GQ, it's a magazine that I'm really in touch with, started changing the way guys looked. And one of the biggest things at that time was that we were cutting guys' hair off and to make it look like the styles of the 50s, where they were really close, and the 40s I should say too, really close on the sides and longer tops. So we were changing the way men looked.
Any magazines that you haven't worked with, Tom? I mean, in looking over, you've worked with everything, and you also, do you still do women's hair?
I do women's hair.
I saw a few pictures on your Instagram.
No, I still do women's hair occasionally, but I've been pigeonholed in the industry now as doing only men's hair, which is fine with me. I mean, I've made a really great career out of it.
Take the opportunities where they come from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And we were talking earlier, and I encourage you guys at home to play this game. I was playing a game with Tom. Are there any male celebrities whose hair you haven't done? And I said, Tom Selleck, and he said...
I did. Tom Selleck.
He's done Tom's hair. He's done them all. So if there's a male celebrity and you're wondering, again, those of you that are just joining us, we're here with Tom Priano. He's the preeminent men's groomer in the industry. He's had the cover of many, many magazines, worked with every celebrity. That's a little game I'd love for you to play. If you want to comment a men's celebrity, an actor or something, their name, and we'll ask Tom if he's done their hair. Chances are he's going to say yes. But make sure they're big time, right, Tom?
That's right.
All right, so into Ryan's haircut, what's your vision here? Is there any kind of specific look that you want to capture?
Well, I want to make this tight on the sides and about 2 or 3 inches on top. This way it'll give me some hair to work with, so I can use different products in it to get a couple different looks out of for you. So, looks out of this.
All right, we have our first comment on celebrities here. This one's coming in from Ashley Wadwell. Have you done Johnny Depp's hair?
Ashley, you're going to be so disappointed. Of course I did.
Yes.
During the days when he was doing
Edward Scissorhands?
Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I did, I think it was British Vogue I did with him.
Awesome. So yes, Ashley, Tom has done Johnny Depp's hair.
With Winona Ryder.
All right, we've got a couple more coming in. People are enjoying this game. Jennifer Kennedy Roberts wants to know if you've done Tom Cruise's hair.
I've never done Tom Cruise.
Oh, okay.
Never done Tom Cruise.
Stump Tom Priano.
No, he's one of the ones I've never had my hands in.
I have a feeling he's the kind of guy who does his own hair. He's very hands-on, right?
Well, I think he's really well protected or surrounded by people that he really trusts, so he doesn't look for outsiders to touch him.
Right on. Well, we'll come back to that game in a minute. We're asking Tom about different celebrities whose hair he's done. For those of you just joining us, I can see lots of you are joining. I'm Gerard Scarpese, co-founder of the Hairbrain community. It's my pleasure to be hanging out with Tom Priano today, someone whose name I've known since I've been a hairdresser, and that's almost 30 years. Tom is one of the most respected men's groomers in the industry. He's done every magazine, every celebrity, except for Tom Cruise. We found one. And he's also one of the co-founders of Armco, which is a professional beauty brand that really has been setting the industry on fire. I really respect it because it's led by three hairdressers, Tom, Garen, and Howard McLaren, a really interesting kind of collective of influential craft hairdressers, as we like to call them. And I have some questions for you, Tom. So the three of you guys working together, when you're developing new products for Armco, I think here's an example for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with Armco. They've got very cool packaging and fun names. So when you were developing something like Waterfall, what's the process between the three of you guys as hairdressers?
Well, the first process that we go through is that we usually have a meeting, and this happens at least 3 or 4 times a year, that we have a meeting and we get together and find out what's new on the market out there and what are people looking for. We look at the trends in fashion, we look at the trends in the street, and we'll usually come up with something that we think the public needs. From there, it goes to one of our great people that searches the markets for us to show us all the new technology that's out there that we can put this product together with.
What would you say is one of your latest that you're really into product-wise? Something you guys have helped develop, recently that's exciting. I love the dry shampoo paste. That was fun.
The dry shampoo paste is great, but I've also really liked Dart, which is a stick that I can use in the hair. I use this on short hair and long hair to make it piecey and give it texture.
So this is something newer that you guys have worked on?
This is pretty new. This I think came out several months ago.
Cool, awesome. Should we be using this today?
We will,
All
if
right.
you like.
How
We can use
convenient.
that.
That would be exciting. So for those of you just joining us, I'm here with Tom Priano. I want to let you guys know we're talking about this incredible collective of these three influential, true craft hairdressers, Tom Priano, Garen, and Howard McLaren, and they're going to be doing a show together. I got a little description here. I want to read it so we get everything just right. It's called the Armco Vision On event. If you're looking for a blend of inspiration and education, be sure to snag tickets to Armco's upcoming Vision On event in Los Angeles on November 12th, featuring the Armco founders Tom, Garen, and Howard McLaren. You won't want to miss this show. Head over to tickets.armco.com to secure your spot. Can you tell us a little bit about what people can expect at the show? We were talking about it's kind of in the formulation stages now.
Well, it's called. We're doing this Legends show around the country right now, and it's pretty much based on that, where we are talking about the legends that bring us to where we are today.
In terms of like looks and inspiration?
Looks and inspiration, basically. So you'll talk about a movie star or a certain look, and then you'll be inspired by that, and then translate it into a haircut or hairstyle for today's world.
Looking good, Ryan. How handsome is this guy? Everybody watching at home here. Tom, he went out of his way to get a fabulous model for you guys to enjoy. And again, a little bit more than a trim, Tom. Definitely going for that transformation.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so again, we've got, well, I don't think you did James Dean's hair. Somebody asked if you did.
No, I'm not that old.
I thought that would be a funny one.
I've been around for a while, but not that long.
I'm sure James Dean's a big inspiration, though. It's
Definitely.
just like, talk about an icon or a legend in men's fashion.
James has always been an inspiration for me, and an inspiration for a lot of people that ask me to do their hair, too. especially in editorial jobs or these photographers I work with. They always say to me, make him look like, sort of like James Dean or that feeling.
So lots of love coming in. You've got our good buddy Steve Kim says you're his hero.
Thank you.
We've got a question from Ashley Rose, and she's wondering what type of clippers do you like to use?
I switch between Walls and Oster.
Jane Costanzo says, thanks Gerard, so nice to see Tom. Once a hairdresser, always a hairdresser. He's the best. With cutting and styling due to his hairdressing, attention to detail. So that brings up another thing I wanted to talk about with you, Tom. So first of all, you made short work of that, and that looks incredible. And it just seemed like it was all on your wrist.
Yes, it's all on the wrist. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fine tune this all with my scissor over comb and probably go back to the clipper too.
So throughout that process, did you use different guards? We've had a question coming in.
Yes, I used, first I started off with the number 1 guard, and then I went on to number 2, and then finished with a number 3.
So you work from 1 to 2 to 3.
Right.
You work upward.
Depending on the length of hair that you want to keep on the head, a lot of the times I tell people to start with a 3
And
at
work
the bottom,
backwards.
and then work backwards.
Yeah.
Because for a person that's not used to using a clipper, it's just a safeguard for them.
Yeah, like myself, you know, I'm a true hairdresser, and I very rarely use the clipper, and I always go the opposite. I get a little scared when people go in with the 1 and then go to the 2, then go to the 3. It seems like there'd be a lot of blending work to do.
Well,
but
you made a decision when you take a 1 or not.
yeah, exactly. You got to own it. So there's something I wanted to chat with you about, like kind of big picture thing. That's I'm going to turn Ryan around just a little bit so we can see that scissor over comb work. So obviously you've been in the men's grooming game now for a long time, and at really the top of it, preeminent. For those of you that are watching, talking about Tom Priano, one of the most respected men's groomers in the industry. He's done every celebrity. We're playing a fun game here, but I'd say in the last, let's just say 5 years, there's been this explosion of barbering, and we're seeing a lot more men's focused work. How does that feel? What do you think of the whole new movement and what's happening here as someone who's kind of a pioneer in it?
Well, I think it's terrific. You know, I love the idea that finally men are really taking a look at themselves and saying, I want to look good. I just did a story with the London Times about guys coming in beauty salons and getting their hair blown dry. And she was asking me, why do they do that? And I said, well, because they want to look good. They want to look just as good as the female that they're walking around with or the guy they're walking around with. I tried to explain to her when I cut a men's hair, I try and teach the guys how to do their own hair. I think that's really important. And, you know, with the Armco brand, we've developed products to sort of make it easy for guys to do that.
So that's kind of your input, because obviously the products are meant to be
Well, they're unisex.
gender neutral.
Yeah, they're gender neutral.
But you're kind of in the development of it. You're looking out for the
Yeah, I'm
men's
always looking
needs.
out for the men's end of it.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I mean, we all use the products. That's why.
So I want to give a few shout outs. We've got some love coming in here. Anya is watching from Poland. We always love to hear where you guys are watching from. So if Poland right now is pretty far away from New York City, let us know if you're even further than Poland. We love to hear that. Some dude called Dan Langer is watching from Austin. He's giving a shout out.
I know that
Hi,
guy.
Tom. Yeah, I think we've heard that name. Thanks for watching, Dan. Steve Kim, who I said earlier said you're his hero. He's telling a little story. My beauty school teacher made me look at Tom's work, and it changed me forever.
Wow.
Some more love. So here's one coming in from Joanne Morrison. She loves your jewelry. Joanne says your wrist chains are pretty amazing. So awesome. Great. Love to hear from you guys out there in the community. Give us your shout outs. Let us know where you're watching from. And we're still playing this game. Are there any celebrities out there, male celebrities, that Tom hasn't done? We stumped him a little bit because he hasn't done Tom Cruise, but yes, he has done Johnny Depp. James Dean, I mean, come on. Somebody also asked about Rock Hudson.
Oh, come on, guys. Do I look that old?
Yeah. So give us some names. Oh, we had another one, David Beckham.
No, I've never done David Beckham.
Okay.
But I've done Brooklyn.
You've done Brooklyn. Okay, excellent. So again, just an overview, if you're just tuning in, Gerard Scarpese here, co-founder of the Hairbrain community, working with Tom Priano, one of the founders, co-founders of Armco, a beauty brand that's setting the industry on fire over the past couple of years by focusing on the professional beauty industry and the craft. They've got a big show coming up, but they've also got an Instagram contest going on right now. So if you're watching, don't do it now, wait till after you're done. Go to @RANDCO on Instagram, which is RNCO on Instagram, and you'll see there's a photo of Tom there. And if you follow the directions in the post and you tag 2 friends, you could win over $200 worth of RNCO product. But wait till we're done, because we've got a lot more. So Tom, you've moved up to the top. Let us know what's happening on the top of the shave.
Okay, right now I'm just trying to work out how long I want the front of his hair. So I'm taking off little snippets until I reach the desired length that I want. Now you notice that the sides of this haircut are very short, and you're probably thinking, how is he ever going to blend that? Well, the secret here is I don't have to blend it if I don't want to. Men's hair cutting today has gone from very conservative to pretty outrageous. It just depends on what the finished look is going to be.
Lots of love coming in. Somebody give some shout outs. People are watching from Wales. That's Carol Chamberlain. We have somebody from even further, Guadalajara. That's Jim Coolidge. Arizona, Sarah Thomas. Germany, Corinne is watching from Germany. We've got Lena watching from Peru. Thank you guys for all the support. We've got Oksana watching from the Ukraine. Lots of love coming in. Here's a couple other celebrities. Patrick Swayze, have you ever done his hair?
I've done Patrick Swayze.
I had a feeling. Lenny Kravitz.
No, I haven't done Lenny Kravitz.
Okay, keep them coming in, guys. So far we're, we've done Johnny Depp, Patrick Swayze, not Tom Cruise, but let's hear some more celebrities, and we'll find out if Tom's done their hair for a magazine or a photo shoot. Okay, so I noticed you've switched to kind of point cutting now.
Yeah, I'm texturing the top of his hair so it's a little rougher instead of a solid line.
So lots of questions coming in about products, and here's the good news, guys. Tom's going to spend some time styling, is Dylan or Ryan? Ryan's hair. After this big transformation, he's going to style it. So we're going to get to see product. We're going to get to see the Armco line in action with one of the founders and hear it, straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. To get some of this hair off you.
God, I wish you were around all the time when I'm cutting hair.
That's a great compliment. We were working with a stylist last week called Ursula Stevens. If you guys haven't seen that, you should tune in. She's incredible. And people were asking what makes a good assistant, and she said that they know what you need without asking.
Without asking, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was the best. That was the best answer I've ever heard, because that's what makes it.
Well, you're a great hairdresser.
Yeah.
And you know what's going through my mind as I'm cutting.
Right, you can kind of feel it, yeah. And so that brings up another question, working on all these great sets and great campaigns. Do you work with assistants, or do you do pretty much all on your own?
No, I actually do work with assistants. Usually when there's more than 2 models on the set, I'll work with an assistant. A lot of the times the client doesn't have the budget for an assistant, so I try and not bring an assistant unless I definitely have to.
Now, since you do mostly men's grooming on set, are you doing a lot of tune-ups and trimming and cutting, as opposed to lots of women's where it's all about setting and styling?
Well, I think it's the same, I really do feel it's the same amount of work, because even though, when I go on a set and do a girl's hair, I don't always cut her hair, I'm just styling.
Right.
So usually when I go on a set with a guy, I'm cutting and styling. Right. So I think pretty much it comes out about even.
I'm sure you don't have a problem in this department, Ryan, but there's lots of people here that would be very happy to date you. They're all saying how handsome you are and how great the hair looks. So,
thank you.
Again, I'm sure you're not having a challenge, but you can always go back and skim through the comments and find a new love interest. Okay, we've got some more coming in. Zac Efron.
Yes, I've done Zac Efron.
He's got great hair, though,
yeah,
doesn't he?
he's got amazing hair.
Yeah, he's got an amazing head of hair.
Yeah, and he's a little hottie, too.
Yeah. How about Nicolas Cage?
Nope, never done Nicolas Cage.
Okay, all right. The one that I asked before, guys, was Tom Selleck, because I'm a big Tom Selleck fan. And Tom said, yes, he's done Tom Selleck, which is awesome. So, you know, I know you're constantly out there working on shoots and campaigns. Is there anything you've done recently that you felt really inspired doing? Anything that you really enjoyed? Any jobs or fashion shows or anything in particular that really kind of felt, you know, right for you?
Once a year, it's coming up now, we usually do the Anna Sui show. She's a designer that we've worked with for over, since she started, so over 20 years. And in her show, she does both men and women, which is a great thing because I get to do both women and men. And Anna has such a great rock and roll sense to her, so it's fun doing her shows too.
So a lot of designers don't do that, huh? Present men and women in the same show.
Well, lately I think they've started to do that because they want to show off their men's designs at the same time as their women's. But Anna was one of the first to do that.
Awesome. So Tom, I noticed you worked very organically through the top. You kind of moving it around and seeing how it falls.
Yeah, exactly. I like to see how it falls because if I'm not around, this guy's got to do it himself. And you know, most of the time I find that guys are really lazy.
Right.
And they want to walk out of the house with at least a bit of work that they can.
It's really the cut that counts.
Yeah.
So for those of you just joining us, I'm Gerard Scarpese, co-founder of the Hairbrain community, probably the luckiest hairdresser in the world because every week I get to hang out with incredible hairdressers and learn. Today I'm learning from Tom Priano, one of the most accomplished men's groomers in the industry. With a 40-plus year career, he's done literally every male celebrity out there, although we've stumped him on a few here. Every magazine cover and great campaigns, and I guess it's probably, is it at least 5 years since Armco kind of got off the ground?
It is almost 5 years. We just had our 4-year anniversary actually, but before that we've been working on it a couple years before that, so I just feel like we've been in Armco land for a long time now.
So over those past 6 years or so, Tom Priano, Garen, and Howard McLaren came together as a collective to develop a new product range. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, it's called Armco, and they've got this incredible packaging. We'll get to see some of this product in action shortly, but every package has a unique photograph on it and has a different use, and it's designed by hairdressers for hairdressers, which is something that we love at Hairbrained. These guys are getting together, as they do a few times a year, to do a live event on November 12th in LA. It's called the Vision On event, and it'll feature Tom, Howard, and Garen on stage together and then separate breakouts. It's going to be in an awesome loft in downtown LA. It's on November 12th, and if you're interested, you can get tickets.rnco.com. All right, so we'll paste that up in the feed also for those of you that are interested in learning more about the event. And as a special promotion today on Instagram, if you go to @RANDCO, Armco, on Instagram, there's a giveaway. There's a photo of Tom, and all you have to do is read the directions and tag 2 friends, and you can win over $200 worth of Armco products to take home.
And
all right.
Can I say something
Yeah,
about
please.
that?
Yeah.
If you want, I mean, and I really suggest that you come is to this event because, not me, I mean, but Howard and Garen are tremendous forces in this industry that you really should have the opportunity to see work. So if you're in the area or if you feel like taking a trip, you should push ahead and do it.
Yeah, and Armco also has an incredible aesthetic and sense of style, so I can imagine that the event is just going to be super cool to attend.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, the way everything's laid out and the way that it flows through. Also, really happy to announce that Armco is now a sponsor of the Hairbrain community, which is fantastic. It's another great way of giving back to professional hairdressers by sponsoring Hairbrained, and we couldn't be happier. What a great alignment, the perfect brand for the Hairbrain community. So thank you, Tom, for getting behind us. So you've gone back to the clipper here.
Well, because as I'm starting to finish up the haircut, I see areas that I could go over and just perfect them. And especially around the nape of the neck, I hate when I see a haircut that's been lined out in the back.
How do you want it, square or round?
Yeah,
Neither. I want a taper.
I want a taper.
Yeah.
I just think it's just a much more masculine look in hair. And tougher too, because so many guys have great hairlines, but you never see them.
Lots of our great friends are watching. I want to give some shout outs. Sal Maziri's watching. Our great friend Tracy Sakasitz, North American Creative Director of Vidal Sassoon, is watching. So you got everybody's interest, Tom. Everybody's really dialed in, and lots of love. They're all saying how good you look. I mean, not that he didn't look good before, but that the haircut really is bringing out his features, Ryan's features, and bone structure. Awesome. And people agree with you. Always hashtag always taper.
Yes.
So that could be a new hashtag. So as Tom gets ready to style, I wanted to talk about something that I think is more personal and important to you. Having followed Tom over the years on Instagram, I noticed that he's kind of very much a supporter of animal rights, which I think is important, and about saving our planet and even our sea life, which sometimes people don't think about. How has that affected your influence on Armco?
Well, when I first joined the team for Armco, I should say, we weren't a vegan company. But through my persistence and me lecturing everybody on what we're doing to animals in this world, the cruelty that they have to go through to feed us and to make products, they finally came to my side and said, we're going to be a totally vegan company by the end of this year.
So that's a commitment from Armco by the end of 2018 to go completely vegan.
Totally.
Well, bravo, I think
Yeah,
that's, and these are things that are becoming more and more important to people, you know, because what you put on your skin, you have to think about. What you put on your hair, you have to think about, and how it infects the whole world. All right,
So-
we're going to get into the styling now.
So I'm going to blow dry Ryan's hair first, the first style. And I'm going to use a setting foam called chiffon. I know it's not too butch sounding, but it works great on this type of hair.
Oh, we can make it sound more butch. Oh, it's chiffon. Oh, you're using a little bit of that chiffon. We can handle that. So this is a foam, and when do you reach for this? Like, is this like a foundation kind of product for you?
I usually use chiffon for most of my blow dries. I like it because it's lightweight. If I had a much more curlier, coarser head of hair, I'd probably use something like Park Avenue, which is a more firmer, more controlled.
Is Park Avenue a spray?
No, that's
a-
actually a gel almost, yeah, it would be a gel. I don't have
All right,
it.
so just so we can show everyone at home what you used here, this is chiffon or chiffon. You want to make it a little bit more masculine, right? And this is a mousse, like a foam,
Yeah,
to kind of create a foundation.
Right.
Now going in with the brush, so we'll have to talk nice and loud now, Tom.
Okay.
So going in with the brush, and what's the idea here with the blow drying?
Well, again, I'm not going to go against the grain of his hair, but I'm going to make it smoother and straighter. So the brush is going to do that for me.
So basically, you're using mostly wrap drying.
Right.
So using that head like a roller and just stretching it around the head.
Not that his hair is that curly.
A lot of love coming in from all over the world. Again, people watching from everywhere. Gorgeous. Both the model and the haircut. Haircut is great. Our buddy Jeremy Hickson was wondering if we've ever done Denzel Washington's hair.
I've worked with Denzel, but I've never had the opportunity to cut his hair.
Okay. I noticed, I think one of your latest posts was Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke, yeah.
Yeah, so you did his hair recently?
Got to cut his hair and style it. And that was for GQ magazine this month.
So, you know, obviously many hairdressers, their dream is to be this celebrity hairdresser and do what you do. Like, if you were to give some words of advice to anybody out there who's like, I have the talent, I want to be working on the magazines with celebrities, what would your advice be?
Well, when I started many years ago, the business was a lot different then. There were only 2 hairdressers compared to the 4,000 that are out there today. So you're going to have to really pump up your game if you want this career. The first thing I always suggest to somebody is find a photographer that you want to work with to platform your talent with.
So getting that great partnership with a photographer so you can build your book.
So you can build a book. This way you'll be able to go and show your work to other photographers and magazines, and pretty soon they like what they see, and they'll hire you for something. You start out small, and then you just keep on building your career.
So, you know, it's the same advice we've heard from many people. Find a photographer to partner with, get an aesthetic, get a message, work together as a team. And you know what I've found is a lot of very successful editorial hairdressers, the photographer is instrumental in picking them.
Yeah,
because someone will hire the photographer and they'll say, do you have a certain hairdresser?
And they
So
say,
if you can find a rising star photographer and volunteer your services for their shoots and build a relationship, I've heard that a lot, you know, because they have obviously a big influence over the shoot. So that's some great advice. For those of you guys that are just joining us, we're here at Blonde & Co., which is our home studio in New York City. I'm Gerard Scarpese, co-founder of the Hairbrain community, working today with Tom Priano, the preeminent men's groomer in the industry and co-founder of Armco. He just did this wonderful haircut. If you missed it, you can go back at any time, because after this is live, it goes into our catalog. You can watch it at any time. He did this incredible makeover here on Ryan. Now we're getting into some styling. We just started off by using a little bit of chiffon, which Tom said is one of his main go-to products from Armco. He uses it very, very often to start to prepare. Now working with the new Armco round brush.
Yeah, Darren was very detrimental in creating these brushes for us because he loves a good round brush to blow dry hair with. So these brushes are incredible. They're bore bristle, which I fought against from the beginning, but they tell me that these are humanely
sourced boar bristle.
brushes.
Yeah, it is a thing. So boar bristle brushes can be humanely sourced from boar, and that's great to hear about the Armco brush. And these, of course, in Armco fashion, they come in super cool packaging that you can then reuse to store your combs in. And we're working on having these available on the Hairbrain Pro Shop soon. So for those of you that want easy access to the Armco brushes, we'll have these for sale at Hairbrain Pro. So any tips here on kind of blowing it out? Why did you switch to a round brush?
Because I wanted to get a more controlled feeling to this, and I feel that the round brush would do that for me.
Excellent. So, I wanted to also note, guys, if you want to see Tom, Garen, and Howard McLaren live on stage, they're going to be in LA on November 12th, doing an incredible, incredible show. They do them around the country. The next one up is November 12th in LA, and you can find out more information. We'll put the link up here of where you can buy tickets. And in case you're interested, you can go to tickets.armco.com to find out more about the Vision On event on November 12th. Also, Armco is hosting an Instagram giveaway today. So if you're on Instagram, not now, because you don't want to leave this, it's just getting good, right, Ryan? Yeah. Don't leave now, but when we're done, you can head over to Instagram and go to RAND.co. That's at RAND.co on Instagram. There's a contest. There's a picture of Tom right there. Just follow the instructions and you can win over $200 worth of this incredible Armco product. All right, getting into some fun stuff here.
I'm going to be using the Continental glossing wax. I use this usually after every blow dry I do because I don't like a blow dry. I like what I can get out of a blow dry, but I don't feel that most people like their hair blown dry, so I'm going to de-blow dry it.
So it just kind of breaks it down,
Yeah.
puts a little bit of moisture and
in it.
separation back in.
And this is a great finishing product for this.
So when on set working with male models and celebrities, I mean, how much freedom do you have to kind of craft the style, and how much of it comes through from the photographer, the creative director?
Well, because I've been doing this for such a long period of time,
They just get out of your way.
well, they don't get out of my way, but they sort of trust my judgment on what the guy should look like. If they don't like what I produce, they let me know and I change it.
Right.
I have no attitude about what I do on set, and that's another thing you have to remember too. It's I would say 50% your professional, talent as far as cutting and styling, but it's 50% of your personality too. You have to know how to work with people.
It's a relationship business, isn't it? Especially, I mean, anything behind the chair is a relationship business, but in the editorial and the fashion world as well, super relationship based.
Okay, I want to say this is our #1 look for this man.
It looks fantastic.
And
Let's,
now we're going
gonna
to
change it up a little
We're going
bit?
to change it up a little bit to give you another look. I think I'll put a little bit more Continental in his hair.
Can we get a look at the consistency of that? Let's. It reminds me, and I don't take it the wrong way. It looks like Dippity Doo
Yeah.
from when I was a kid. You know, that kind of. I want to stick my fingers in there and kind of play around with it. Yeah. And this is the Armco Continental glossing wax.
So what I do is I'll put him on the set like this, and then as we're working during the day, I'll have to stick my hands in his hair again because I just don't like one look for anyone. So I just quickly move the hair around again, and just take a look at you in the mirror.
So what's a typical day in the life of Tom Priano? Are you working ever in the salon? Is it always based on shoots?
I don't work in a salon. We used to have a salon on Fifth Avenue. I used to work at the Garen, New York salon on Fifth Avenue, but we closed that about 4 years ago. And now what I'm doing is I call myself an Uber hairdresser. I go around town and cut and style guys' hair whenever they need me. Look number 2.
So again, just taking the Continental and pushing the hair
Right
down. I like the way that it has like a shine and a dampness, but it doesn't look greasy at all.
Right.
So that product seems like a cool one. I'm gonna have to grab some of that. Are we gonna go for another look?
We're going to go for one more
All
look
right,
out of this haircut.
What are we looking? What are we using now? This is my favorite
We're
stuff.
going to use the Badlands. I can't tell you how many guys love this product.
Yeah. Anything with the word bad in it, right?
This is
Badlands.
this
Let's
is
get a shot for everyone at
This is a
home.
dry shampoo. But what it does is you don't have to use it as a shampoo. It's a texturizing product or a pomade also.
So it's a paste version of dry shampoo,
Shampoo.
creating texture,
Right.
separation. Will it kind of cleanse the hair if it
It will
feels a
cleanse
little?
the hair, yeah. I mean, as you can see, I'm going to put it in a head of hair that I've already used glossing wax on.
Totally transformed it immediately.
Yeah, so it'll take down the shine that it has, but it'll also, if there's any oil residue from the product, it'll take that out too.
Yeah, totally absorbed it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, on set here, you can see the difference. It just absorbed the oil immediately.
But, and
Yeah, it's great when these little kind of unplanned things happen, the way this pieces fell down
yeah,
over here.
leave it.
That's just perfect for
Yeah,
a
I
shoot,
mean,
isn't
yeah,
it?
no, that's the way it works. You don't plan everything.
So much love coming in, Tom. People are thanking you for sharing your expertise and your years of dedication are obviously very obvious here. We can see. Would you like a glass of water?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. I know you gotta get those final statements in. We want you to have to be in full voice. So what are you looking at now? There's those little final things. Is there any way to put that in words?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I'm always judging my own work. I'm the biggest critic of my own work. Nothing is ever good enough. So I, excuse me. So I'm always looking at my work and seeing where I can make it better. For instance, on this haircut, if I want, and I'm almost tempted to do it if I had enough time, is to take it just a bit shorter in the front so we can really change this up. Do we have enough time?
You
to
do.
that?
We've
Okay.
only been 39 minutes and people are loving it. The audience is staying tuned in. So more Tom. If you guys are just joining us, we're here with Tom Priano. He's done this incredible makeover on Ryan. You can watch it from the beginning, go back, fast forward, rewind, hear the incredible stories of and this word gets thrown a lot in our industry, but this man is truly a legend, someone with over 40 years at the top of the game, working with all the top celebrities, all the top magazines, all the best salons in the world, and part of the Armco collective designing this incredible product line. And if you want to cut the front a little shorter, Tom, you do it. So tell us exactly what you're going for.
Well, I'm going for a much shorter top now because I want him to have this haircut when he leaves here so he doesn't have to do anything with.
Well, I got a compliment even. Joanne Morrison, who I think I know, says, "You're a great host interviewer, nice move with the water." Well, we have to take care of Tom. He's working hard here, and it's easy to kind of lose the voice. So you just give us a shout out if you need any more water, Tom. Love coming in from everywhere. Looks amazing. Nice hair. Good stuff. We've got Kamal watching from Morocco. That's pretty awesome.
I was just in Morocco last year.
Really?
Loved it.
On a
Loved
shoot?
it. Yeah, no, actually, it was a wedding.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Great country.
So just kind of like maybe knocking that corner off a little bit from the front
Yep.
into the sides.
Yep, knocking it all down.
Now, as you finish up, I would love to chat a little bit about a man that we both chatted about earlier that I think more hairdressers should know about. I was mentioning to Tom that I started my career at Vidal Sassoon, and he said, "Do you know Roger Thompson?" I said, "Well, I never worked with Roger, but I mean, his work is obviously influenced hairdressers now for 50 years." And Tom was actually telling me that he worked and learned from Roger in your early days.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and I excuse me. Let me get another.
Get you some water.
Yeah, Roger was a big influence in my hair cutting. I think it was back in the late 80s I was working with him. And Roger was so precise with his haircuts that it drove us all a little bit crazy.
He kept checking and
Yeah.
but you can see that perfectionism is carried on to you, as you said.
But he's a very talented man.
And for those of you that aren't familiar, just do yourselves a favor, Google the name Roger Thompson, just so you can see the history. I made a statement that I strongly believe in. I don't think there's any creative haircuts, any collections happening out there that aren't influenced by Roger. And obviously,
Well,
we give so much credit to Vidal because Vidal was a genius, but Roger was kind of the right-hand man that really did that.
Roger was the one that executed most
Yeah,
of that.
exactly. Well said. So again, here and is this something that happens on set? Do you sometimes go back and say, okay,
Sure,
let's change
yeah.
it up even a little
Well,
bit more?
I have to be careful because if it's a story, we can't just change the way he looks in the middle of the story. But if I'm doing more than one guy on the set, I can usually attempt to redo his hair the way I see it.
Maria Bernard says she's always worried about cutting the hair after there's product in it. Obviously, that's not something that bothers you.
No, I don't. I have complete control of the hair, so
Maybe it can actually help in some ways because you
Yeah.
can see the style and
Yeah.
detail it. And you know, Maria, if you're worried about your scissor, don't be afraid to wash the scissor down with a little
Yeah.
soap and water. And as long as you dry it well and it's stainless steel or cobalt, it'll be fine. So if you're worried about the product, and then as far as sharpening, you know, a great pair of scissors should keep its edge for about 1,000 haircuts, you know, and then you'll need them to get sharpened. A lot of people were asking about scissors. I know that you work with the Nick STS.
I do. Yes.
Yeah, which is a perennial favorite with you know, a lot of hairdressers. Is that something you've worked with for a long time?
I've worked with these scissors over 15 years now.
Yeah,
Not this one scissor, but
that particular
the
brand and make.
itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of love coming in from everywhere.
Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more Badlands to this to give it a little bit more texture.
So this is a dry shampoo paste. It's something pretty revolutionary.
Yeah,
you know, dry shampoo sprays have been around for a while, but this is more in a paste form.
In a paste
and then
form.
you kind of like emulsify it with your hand, and it changes again in the hair.
Watch what happens. It just dissipates in my hand almost. It looks oily, but when it goes onto the hair, it has a dry texture to it.
And again, if you're wondering, that's the Armco Badlands dry shampoo paste.
I think I can announce that we're coming out with a lighter version of this product too. It's called Sandcastle.
So in the works, another variation. Awesome. You got the nod from the background.
Yeah. I never know what I can say and what I can't say. Well, there you have it.
Awesome. It's
Another
been
short
so
video.
awesome spending time with you, Tom. We're going to take off the cape here. I'm going to do a little roundup. This is Ryan. You can see he's got this incredible makeover. You guys can go back and watch this at any time from the beginning. While we finish up, I want to give a shout out to Tom Priano and Armco. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for helping to sponsor the hairbrain community. If you guys are Armco fans, be sure on November 12th to check out the show that's going to be happening in Los Angeles. Tickets are available at tickets.armco.com, so go ahead and check that out.
Come and see me
now,
there.
yeah, come and see Tom. And now you're able to head over to Instagram. I'm allowing you to leave Facebook. Go to Instagram, go to @RANDCO, and join in the Tom Priano contest. Super easy. All you have to do is tag 2 friends, and you could win over $200 worth of Armco product. Peace out, guys. Love you. Thanks for joining us.
See you guys.